Started. So today topic is access tracker because yesterday I pending the document. The monitoring in the monitoring tab all the accountability, uncodization, analysis and trending, system monitor, endpoint profiling, everything is completed. But only the pending yesterday only the access tracker. Okay, access tracker very important feature about the Aruba ClearPass. Access recording started. Okay. So the what is about the access tracker? Access tracker is the Aruba ClearPass is in troubleshooting and monitoring tools. Access tracker is 99% problem is going to resolve only the access trackers. After completing the configuration, everything has been completed. Only work in the open daily operation only is handled. They handle when going to handle any daily operation, the use of the only access tracker, the one tools to going to resolve the all the problem, not single the all the problem going to identify and analysis and resolve the issue. Access tracker is the Aruba Clear troubleshooting and monitoring tools is used inbuilt tool in Aruba ClearPass. It allows administrator to view the authentication requests wired, wireless. Each and every you can able to see the access tracker only. Okay, who is connected, now, who is rejected, what is the NAT IP address, what is the endpoint IP address, what is the NAC server. So everything able to see in the only for access trackers. Okay, it's a real-time monitoring. So all the authentication request, success, failure, poacher authentication check, map, datanex, takas, etc. All type requests going to check the real-time monitoring with the help of access tracker. Okay. So there are some multiple type of filters over here. You can filter the type of MAC address, source IP, takas. So you can tap multiple types of filter like the once I'll take the one example about the this only for reject. Okay. So if we going to find out the reject request, the why reject, we will should we will identify the first log. You can read the logs. What is the log we can share? We can check the first the reject login status reject. Okay. Then what is that? The alert, you can click on alert, so you can able to see the MAC authentication and password even request to not attempt to the MAC authentication, cannot select the appropriate authentication method. That means if we are going to enable the particular endpoint, that time we are going to select the .autowire config. So that time some selecting the some different just I show you difference means something going to change, something to select some different uh, attributes. So that time you cannot able to complete the first of all when going to enable the wired auto config should go for WLAN setting. Okay, servicer.msc and go to WLAN. Okay, down here. Okay, this is a WLAN. Okay, this is a wired and auto config. See, wired also running and wireless also running. So click on the wired, right click, properties. So select over here the by default any Windows system going to not part of the NAC, not part of any authentication AAA server. So they are going to by default this is a manual. By default setting is manual. Okay. So if you deploying the any authentication server, the AAA servers, okay, in the ICE or Aruba ClearPass or Fosca, you should be enable the .next from your endpoint system. So should be that time that instead of manual you can select the automatic. After automatic we can start and stop. Okay, so after that, okay, so same thing will going to use of the these are talking about the wired and wireless also. If you going to use authenticate with the access point or wireless, so that time also enable the wireless setting should be the automatic. Okay, click on properties. This is by default the properties, by default the manual, we should be change the automatic. Okay, after select the servicer.ms, enable the autowire config. After close it and go to GP edit, go to CMD GP update, use the command GP update. Okay, after change the service setting. Okay, the successfully, so it should be updated from your policies. Okay, so this I am configuring in there is something different, and go to the LAN setting. I'm just showing my LAN setting. Go to LAN setting. This is my authentication. Go to properties. Somebody waiting or what? It's okay, fine. So go to properties. So authentication by default, normally no authentication request should be enabled. This is for like that we can enable. Okay, so if you enable, go to properties. When they enable the auto-wire config and service.yml, that is after that we can that this authentication tab is to you can able to see. If you disable the auto-wire config, so it cannot able to see this tab. You can able to I'll show you 1 second. Service.msc, this tab is not visible, so I'm just it's a practical for you. We can go for WLAN again. I'm just disable the this is wired. I'm just properties. I'm click on manual, apply, okay, okay, close it. Properties. So I need to GP update, not update this CMD. If not update, to need to restart the system. Let's see. Okay, so I just disable the systems, enable this is LAN connection, properties. So I need to reboot the system. Okay, this is not still able to see this in a okay. So I think my wireless IBC cable, 1 second, I'll just disable the wireless also, 1 second. WLAN properties, apply, okay. So I need to reboot the system because still reboot after that need to change and happen. Okay, if with the disable the system should be reboot because still that able to see the this tab. Just take again and ZP update.
First of all, what is the error on the ClearPass?
No, I'm just talking about the when how to enable the authentication from your endpoints. I'm not checking the ClearPass. ClearPass I'm not going to check. Only enable the systems authentication from the endpoints. So I just show you this tab when visible this tab.
This is just for .1x, right?
Yes, .1x or Mac auth, everything on that. Any authentication method happen only this one. Okay. So just I'm leave it because.
For that we have to enable that auto wired and for wireless WLAN auto config, right?
Yeah, both these automatic only. Should be automatic instead of manual. The configure should be automatic.
Automatic. Okay, fine.
Okay. WLAN is running automatic. After selecting, we can select the appropriates, this enable, and select the IP tip. If you are going to select the certificate based authentication, select the smart card. Okay, but I'm not using certificate authentication, only the IP protocol, username based authentication. So that only IP. Okay, and if you remember this, is remember the credential. Remember the my credential for this. Reconnect the each time in the login. Okay, this remember. It should be remember. If they disable this one, that this error coming to my NAC console, this is for this error. Where it is? This is for I'm just selecting this one, not property. Select the attribute from my endpoints. That's why I'm going to select the should be select this one only. Fallback authentication access. This fallback authorization, that means map. Fallback means map. Okay. If the data is not happening, so fallback categorically go to map authentication. Fallback authorization network access. Okay. After that, go to setting. If you select the certificate based authentication, select the certificates. Okay, root certificates. But I am not using any certificate, so I am not selecting the certificates. Okay. Here also we can able to see secure password, IPP password, certificate IPTLS. This for smart card. This for certificate of authentication. But I am going to use username password authentication. This is additional setting. This is for user. This is a type of authentication. User or computer authentication. That means the IP you are going to check with the username and machine authentication. That machine should be part of the domain and the user should be present in Active Directory. So that use of the user and computer authentication, machine authenticated plus user authenticated. That means you're going to check the every time the user should be part of the domain and that machine is the part of the domain. But a part of that user is present in the ID Active Directory and that part is a domain device should be that system should be part of the domain. But that not a local workgroup. This is part domain. This machine forward domain machine. Okay. User authentication, that means only for check the user. They are not going to checking the any machine authentication. They are not going to check the any part of that machine. If you only your laptop going to check connect your systems, that also able to access the network, because they are going to check the only user authentication. That user only the part of the domain. That's it. They are not going to checking the machine it is a part of domain or not. They are only checking the user authentication. So if you select the user authentication, so they are going to verify the AD. The AD means the user should be present in the AD server. Guest authentication, that means guest means going to check the if you allow some guest, so that that particular user going to only for allow the guest authentication. But by default the normal there are two as a best practice going to use of this for best practice user authentication and computer authentication. But most of the time you are using, but is compared to the IPTLS and IPP as compared to more secure to certificate based authentication. IPTLS based authentication is more secure as compared to IPP. Okay, so I am going to testing for the EPIP only. I am going to enable. Okay, save it. So this is fine. I am just explain about the authentication, how to enable the from the system end. So this is error for I am just not selecting the fallback mechanism for my system. So that is coming to this error. Okay. Again, one more thing, this is a reject profile because of Mac .NET is fail and macOS is not happening because of the you not select the fallback mechanism for your systems. That's why you coming to this. One more thing, this unknown is endpoint posture error. This is for regarding the on-guard agent. On-guard agent going to check the healthy status about the quarantine healthy. I'm not going to check the any quarantine system or healthy system. So they are if the token should be applied, this token is unknown token. There are types of token. One is a healthy token, quarantine token, and unknown token. So normally they are not going to detect the on-guard agent from the systems, are not going to detect your parameter to the posture in evaluation. So that time use of the unknown token should be applied. Unknown. So I am just talking about how to check the log. This is for log. Authentication method should be not present in your reject log. Authentication method, that method means if the .NET or either macOS is not going to detect. Okay. So user not that particular user not going to apply the particular authentication method. The apply policy for this macOS policy should be applied, but the authentication method not responding to systems. Okay. Localhost means that authentication source localhost. With this MAC address should be present in my local repository. That means endpoint repository. That endpoint repository means that machine MAC address should be whitelisted in my Aruba ClearPass. That going to store in the endpoint repository and guest repository. There are two types of repository. The repository means SQLDB. SQLDB means that going to store the database for the all MAC address of the systems. Okay, that the localhost means the my internal local database, that endpoint repository or guest repository. This for you going to source of localhost, that means the use of the SQLDB. Source also same thing like this, endpoint repository and guest repository. Time source means real time monitoring, real time connection. We can check the time source. The role is guest. Guest means the number of role should be applied. By default role is guest is applied. Okay. Enforcement profile should be allow access profile. Allow access means the system, if the parameter should be parameters is matched, so should be that as per the policy or the Aruba ClearPass, allow access will be applied. But the system not responding, that's why the system level issue, not for the authentication level on the ClearPass. The issue is because my system going to apply the allow access profile, means anything happen, my ClearPass should be allowed. Okay, but the not responding the particular endpoint from the endpoints, so that's why rejecting the profile. That issue in my endpoint should check the endpoints, not to check your ClearPass. Okay. System monitor service monitor mode disable means this service going to, there are two types of mode, enable mode and sorry, this is the live mode and monitor mode. Monitor mode is not going to hamper the anything is happen. The system should be quarantined. They're not going to block any type of policies because this is the policy in the under monitor mode. Okay. Online this system no, this system is not online. Okay, because the reject profile should be applied. So this is I am going to check the log. Endpoint status should be known. Known means that computer when going to whitelist the system from the Aruba ClearPass, so that going to apply the known. The policy of the system should be known. Known means the part of the ClearPass. Endpoint host profile, they automatically apply the endpoint profile for the any Windows system or any Linux system. Windows system should be covering the Windows 10 and Windows 11 coming to the Windows 10/11 attributes. Okay, this is a daytime time. Daytime time should be as per the current daytime times. I'm going to lab, so this is don't check the day. I'm not checking any times because my lab is going to different zones. Okay. Second thing, input go to change the again. This is for username. See, I'm going to username the by default the MAC auth policy going to check the username is the MAC address of the particular systems, not to Dell. Dell is a username. Dell not a username. Dell is a only the machine's name. Okay, the username should be when going to apply the MAC authentication policy. That time username should be in the MAC address of the physical systems. Means this itself is the MAC address of the physical MAC address. Okay, not a Dell. So I'm not going to attributes value. That's why I'm going to reject because MAC authentication not being detect. They are going to random values of Dell. Okay. So issue is the endpoint system should be issue inform the user. You check the user not properly select the supplicant setting. Supplicant setting means that is servicer.msc or authentication method not going to select proper way. You can check the endpoint from the system end. Then this is for access device IP means this is switch IP address where to connect the systems. The switch IP address and the 5021 this is a port number. Normally the port number by 21 but the ClearPass randomly use of the MAC address like 5000 2000 1000, so by default they are going to detect the 5021 but 21 is my actual interface system port number. Okay, so first of all this is switch IP address 192.168 and second 5021 21 my port number but 5000 is the random value for the Aruba ClearPass detecting. But don't take about the 5000, only check the 21 is the port number, live port number. Second thing, access device name. Access device name means the host name of the switch. That switch name of the switch that detecting the host name of the switch. Then this is audit port, Cisco audit for radius. This packet for radius packets. See, these are session audit session for radius. This is for session ID. This is for session ID. When going to apply the authentication session, that session ID and this session ID should be same. Okay. Second one is this is for session ID 5CA4. This is for session ID for calling session ID. This is for MAC address of the systems session ID. Okay. This is for MTU. MTU means maximum transmitted unit for the your switch. This NAS port and NAS IP address. This is for NAS port means the switch IP address. NAS when going to talking about the NAS, so NAS IP address that means switch IP address. Okay, NAS port means the interface port. Interface port is 21 but by default NAS dynamically value is 5021. The port number actually is 21. You can able to see the port number. Port ID is 21. Okay, this is a port ID is 21. Okay, but the NAS port when going to max spoofing policy, the apply the NAS port. This NAS port should be this one. Okay, I am not apply the policy 21. I am going to apply the NAS port. This what is the actual value of the NAS port? The 5021 is NAS value, so should be the port detecting the policy apply the NAS port to 5021, not going to 21. Okay, this is a port type is a random value is a port type 15 and the service type 2 as a username and Dell is for wrong values. This computer attributes related to the computer. What is the code value? This is for username going to select it. Unknown code, posture is unknown, status is failed. So authentic source, what is the source? Going to selecting the checking the MAC address, client MAC address. This is client MAC address, clone MAC address. Okay, then multiple type of related to endpoint attribute. This is for endpoint attributes. Okay, this for switch IP address. This is for ClearPass IP address. Okay. What is the vendor value? This is for Dell. This my machine name is Dell laptop. So they are going to check the vendor name also. This is for source port 1645. Okay, So now 1812, 1813, 1645. This is for source port, connection port. For .NX employee, okay. This is a MAC port. MAC port is a MAC authentication. That means this MAC spoofing port policy should be applied. The MAC port should be detected automatically. Second last is endpoint attribute. Endpoint attribute should be related to only for purely endpoint. That means laptop or desktop. What is the vendor of the name? Dell. Added by the policy manager. When status is known, that MAC address category is computer. Okay, this is for this endpoint attributes automatically fetch the discovery from your systems. This host name about the systems is Sahil Akil. Static IP. There, what is the IP address should be assigned. This is for static. If you assign the DHCP IP address, so that are going to check the this told DHCP IP assigned. But now I am trying to assign the static IP, so they are going to detect the static IP. Profile conflicts false. Okay, added. We are going to add it my system. That date is there. Monthly means you can when going to whitelist that particular system, that added date should be can you able to see in the here only. When the whitelist the system in Gauge repository or endpoint repository, that date should be added. Added date when going to add the particular endpoint, we can able to see here. I am going to add it. If for anything or checking the logs or audit, we can check the when going to add the particular endpoint and whitelisted your ClearPass. So please check the date, added date. This is actual date. Okay. This is a fingerprint. Fingerprint for the as per the detect your system inventories. Output this endpoint profile, allow access profile, and posture is known unknown. That's why I able to see the unknown pockets. Alerts for you can able to see the alerts. What is the 206 error code? This is for error code, and this is alerts. So this is for checking for anything for you going to check any logs. Should be understand the log, where the log. If you want to see the all the log, you can check the policy show configuration. You can able to see the policy. What is policy apply for the particular system? This is for name of the policy, type of the policy. Okay, this is policy name. This is for service name. This is service. What going to service apply? Okay. Second, role of the service. What is the role of the service? This is a role of the service. Second is enforcement policy. You can able to see the enforcement policy. So here the Saturday, Monday to Friday, or Saturday, which is allow access profile. This for all the configuration should be checking for particular endpoint, which policy should be applied, what is the condition. You can able to see over here. You want to export the this log, you can export the log for troubleshooting. You can export the log. So this is for export. I'm just dashboard. So export is completed. This is can export the log for troubleshooting. You can the show log. You can click on show log. You can see the logs. Okay, you can able to see the logs. On for particular endpoint, see log. All log is there. All packet, session log, everything can read this log. So types of log will there. Okay. So why this error is coming? This error is coming. Error for the real time is okay. What is the remove is empty. Failed to attributes role ID. Okay. So we can identify the all this for troubleshooting purpose. I think I log out. 1 second. So I am saying the talking about the this is for reject log. This is for accepted log. Means this machine should be accepted. See this reject for login status accept. Okay, everything is same. So there is the missing of authentication source, authentication method. Here going to not missing. Here going to check the reject authentication method is missing. Okay. So issue for the reject, read the log proper way. Okay, and troubleshoot the part. This policy MAC authentication policy source localhost, everything as same, but missing to the method of the systems. All everything is same, that are going to reject. Okay, all policy should be same. Only for reject log, some particular. This for accountability. Accountability should be in the accounting tab. You can able to see the IP address of this machine. Okay, Ethernet. Okay, this for switch IP address, MAC address, everything unable to see. Radius. Okay, is for accounting tab. I'm going to check the all log particular active session. This for attribute. This is a false alert, so leave it. But now the success category is success. Okay. So like that we can verify the all types of logs, all types of detect any takas, radius or webauth only for select the if any machine going to issue is happen, so you can collect in take the first MAC address. Not going. Please don't take the IP address of the system. Only ask to user send the MAC address, physical MAC address of system. So MAC address is a unique value of this system, so you can verify easily. If you ask the user particular IP address, so IP address should be changed. That not going to able to troubleshoot proper way. So should be asked every time going to troubleshoot anything. It should be asked to first share the MAC address, first physical MAC. This is the filter, multiple type of filter: login as service, NAS IP address, NAS port, username, or type, in-person profile is multiple types of filter option is there.
Maximum how many days is this log?
7 days only. Only the log going to stay only 7 days in the access tracker. After that we can, if you require the log, we go to inside and download the log from the particular endpoint. Their log as per the inside, as per your storage. Normally the inside storage database at least 6 months. Okay, once.
Sir, how to save the log, sir?
How to share the log? How to save the log? Can you repeat again?
How to save? Suppose how to download the log.
From this log or
This log.
okay, I should click on this. Export the log. So directly that export log you can go download from your systems. This is for system.
Okay.
Okay.
So
And these logs which we are exporting, these are for means how much duration? Means, is this for 7 days, 1 day, 2 days, or what?
7 days.
7 days log. We
Yes.
will get the 7 days log.
Yes, 7 days. You can download the log. Yes, tell me.
sir, one more question.
Hmm.
There are 100 or 200 logs. So can I click on one by one or
No. Any see first of all we can troubleshoot from the radius, so we can collect the log from here. So any log going to select, so they are log from 7 days. Okay, for any if you see issue for the on guard agent, so don't download from log from here. You can ask to user send the log from the endpoint actual log. So how to collect the log from the on guard agent? So go click on over here. Okay, diagnostics, the one option is the send log. Okay, so click on send log. So all data 8 days collecting the data and download the log, and that log is very useful for you troubleshooting, for on guard agent troubleshooting.
Sir, I have one doubt.
See,
Means
once
the logs we are extracting from this help means on guard agent. These logs means are regarding ClearPass or that system regarding that system.
this is see is facing the issue from the system only, not the ClearPass. ClearPass log is the
So these logs are regarding the
system.
If the system having any issue,
Ah,
we can troubleshoot with these logs, right?
correct.
Okay.
So this is a log. Oh, see, 1 second log. Send log. Okay, 1 second. Still not happen. I'm just collecting the log. So you need to create a okay, not required. Okay. Enable to analyze the default make sure that you have the client you can not required. See, this is log is coming. The log file is zip file. This is zip file log. Okay, the log is completed for this log for on guard agent log for last 7 days. Last 7 days log. Okay. So this is a log. So number of files over there. I'm just extracting it. Not leave it. So these are the types: agent type, clear pass, on guard. These are last types. Okay. Last 7 days file be there. Okay, in the log. On guard agent. Okay, and the collecting from the this log talking about radius log. Radius log should be 7 days only here only, but you need to some more data, so you can go for inside and collect the download, generate the report, and fetch the data from the inside server. Okay, correct na?
Okay, got it. Okay, got it, sir.
Okay, so everything going to check only the access stacker. Access stacker should be used for the all the but normally the publisher and publisher subscriber, normally the cluster form. Okay, the cluster going to check the number of, here going to check the number of server should be DCDR, or cluster should be select the server, appropriate server. In the cluster the data should be going to check the randomize means if you not going to particular server, going to check the any servers. Okay, so select the proper server, select the proper filters, that filter radius, TACAS, WebAuth, each any only check the unhealthy or successful authentication. So should be this. Okay, so
Sir,
is types.
I log into any subscriber. From the subscriber, I can select any subscriber for the access tracker.
Yes,
Like
yes.
I log into a particular subscriber.
Mm.
So there will be option. I can choose other subscriber or publisher also from here.
Only the in the cluster when going to log in by a publisher, in the publisher going to select the appropriate subscriber and detect the how many requests coming from the particular subscriber. That is possible from publisher only.
From publisher only.
Yes,
So if I log in to a publisher, so I don't have this select multiple.
yes, there multi, yes, option is there. We can go to if you log in the publisher. Okay, so the select server option will be there, so they are going to able to see the multiple server IP. Okay, the subscribe IP, select the server and go and select the authentication request coming from this particular servers. Clear? Hello Suresh, are you clear that point?
Uh,
See,
um,
I will show you one second, one more thing. Just
yeah.
so this is for one second. I have the my publisher. Go to access stacker, audit. So here there are two server, two or three server, American, Calir. Okay, two server. This is clusters. So I want to see the 10.000 log. So select the log and save it. So this particular server, how many going to hit this service? That only this is for particular this only server. Can you see? Only I am so go for this particular server. How many going to request is coming? That I able to see. Okay, this is for only for this server going to hitting this number of endpoints. Okay, so select over here. This is for there are two my server and this is my cluster for two cluster. This is my cluster America clusters. This is a cluster. This cluster going to hit the two servers. Okay, so either 1.10 or 111. Okay, so this is cluster going to handle the all the two servers, but going to particular server going to check the authentication should be select the that server IP and go ahead.
Okay.
Okay. So this is for authentication. Select the filter, all filter, or radius request, TACAS request, a particular. We can check the particular request should be for radius or a TACAS. WebAuth, each request should be filtered, so that also possible to check the particular authentication method. Okay, already select the appropriate filter request and go ahead and select the range. This I told you. So in 1 week, 1 week data means 7 days data should be stored in my Aruba ClearPass. Okay, that I also able to see. But some days, so I one more thing. I just this is for 1 week. But some other nowadays, I just go to one challenge. I'll show you. Administrators. Administrators. Not here. Cluster wide parameters. Okay. See, the cleanup internal session and the log this by default 7 days, but the 7 days option be there, but we can modify the 15 day 15 days or 16 days if you modify it, but the log size should be in the 7 days. That only increase the point of the database storage, means automatic backup going to store 15 days. If we change this 7 instead of 7 days, it's going to change the value of the 15 days data will be stored in my access tracker. It's not possible. That only change the automatic backup going to share the 15 days, but the access tracker log only for 7 days. If you modify here only, if you change this after setting, but not impactable over the access tracker logs, that is a fix. They are not going to change because default value is 7. Because some my students going to change this value and they are going to like that we can happen. We can the 15 days database storage not possible. If you change the 15 days every day, it's not possible. By default 7 days, by default 7 days. But the automatic backup size should be 15 days. Means automatic backup means the automatic backup is here. This is my automatic backup. We can select the automatic backup. So backup instead of 7 days, they are going to store the data with 15 days. That only change. After that, everything remains same. So access tracker log by default 7 days, not increase. It's not possible to increase the data size. Okay, that is a fix. If you change even the cluster wide parameter, the 15 days, only the change the happen only for the your automatic backup. Instead of 7 days, they are going to modify the data, increase the 15 days. That's it. But not to in the access tracker logs. They are only remains same. The 7 days only going to store the data.
Okay, and sir, I have one doubt.
Hmm.
That value which we have modified right now means for 15 days, right?
Hmm.
Is that value applicable for all our servers and publishers?
Yes, that only for all subscribers, but only for the increase the if you change the modified the data instead of 7 or 15 days, so only automatic backup should be increased, not be increase the access tracker log size date. Okay, that is so.
It will remain for 7 days. Only,
Yes,
right?
7 days only. That not going to modify, not going to change. Okay, 7 days database should be there. If you the 1 day, you can select the 1 day, 2 day, 3 days. The 7 days, last 7 days log should be can able to see over here. So then we're going to filter the show filters. 1 second, sorry. See the here types of log. You can check the select timing, date. Okay, you can all the should be date wise, time wise. We can filter the log. That is also possible. Okay. Other than that, here you can available columns and selected column. Available column means that is a by default column is available. So what you need to selected columns, we can able to see the access tracker, the server timing, source, username, services. This is for selected column. I am removing over here. I'm just example. I am removing everything, so you cannot able to see the. I'm just pending only some 1 second. So we can only see. So only see the server name. What you need to select over here, that I am able to see. If you select the particular enforcement, MAC address, login status. Okay, so that only so number of columns available. We can select the proper what you require on daily operations. Okay, so that value should be able to see in the access dashboard, access tracker dashboard. Okay, this is for so that value should be defined as per your best practice. Normally best practice is the first of all MAC address should be available. Second thing is enforcement profile should be available. Second thing NAS IP address means which IP address should be available. Third one is 1 second. Source means what is the source? Server IP address. Sorry, server IP address should be available. Means your ClearPass IP address. Okay, and then services, which service is going to hit that particular endpoint, that is mandatory. Okay, this is for mandatory. This is for best troubleshooting part for required the any endpoint authentication happening, the challenges are facing should be identify your easily to the what is the enforcement profile apply, what is the login status, what is the error code, what is the IP address, what is the service, so easily you can verify it. Okay, so the value is the number of rows is 100 by default it number at least 1000, but as a best practice not go to 100 more than 100. If you going to select the 1000, so thousands of entry should be coming, so it will take the too much time. The processing time, memory utilization should be increased, so don't use up the 1000 time every time. It should be 50 at 50 maximum 100, not more than that. Okay, it should be limited of 100. Okay, if they going to troubleshooting any happens, so that time should be select 1000, but and the best practice don't select the 1000 counts, because 1000 means 1000 number of entries should be coming for the particular endpoints. It will take timing, processing, everything should be utilized. Okay, and the auto refresh should be enabled, because automatically if you select the auto refresh, that means automatically detect, automatically this new request should be coming over here automatic. If you not select automatic, the request should be in the stuck. They are not going to should be click on every time go, then going to modify the change the data. It should be select auto refresh, so automatic refresh the coming authentication request should be coming to NAC console. Okay, so access stackers only for I just explain about the access stacker. This access stacker is useful for the troubleshooting, monitoring and real time handling the request. Okay, any type of authentication, web authentication, TAKAS authentication, any type of request, so coming from here. Okay, access stacker, audit viewer and EV1. There is three tabs very important for daily operation. Access stacker, audit viewer and EV1, very important three tabs for daily operation. Okay, so access stacker for operation, event viewer for auditing, and audit viewer means accountability for the any modified changes from the Reverse ClearPass. Event viewer is related to any ClearPass happen, any error, any upgrade, so should be able to see from here only. Okay, yesterday I already explained on that point. I am not for only for just or recollect this information. That's it. So this all the dashboard monitoring should be as today completed. So and the remaining part administrators, next week we can start the administrator all this point for with the explanation about theory and lab, and after the configuration it should be only for labs. So this for very complicated topic to lab, so when going to perform the lab I'm just explaining everything and perform the lab. So any query about this dashboard and monitoring, so please let me know, and other than that, so please ask query, so I'll just explain about this your doubts. Yes, go ahead. Hello, can able to see my voice?
Yes, we can see. Actually, sir, I have one doubt. Means how we can identify like the failure is due to means policy mismatch, certificate issue, or AD connectivity. How we can means identify that by looking at log.
Okay, so if the service match PC, if is go to access stacker, any access stacker, the policy mismatch with this C can able to see the any log. If you reject log, that will see this, why is this coming the log, connection loss, this alerts, and that source, that is very important. Alerts and source. What is the source? Means what, where coming to the source. This is what is the source means the authentication from AD or authentication from your MAC address. You can check this particular service. What is the source means, that source going to see, source means what AD, with that user going to check or the system going to check, or AD server or my endpoint repository or guest repository. That will be very important. Second thing, alert. What is the alert showing? Alert should be something 20% is going to help to resolve the problem. Going to, what is the alert going to send? If you reject alert, if something going to select the reject, so why going to reject? From say your MAC address not going to part of their not adding, not whitelisted, or the that user not going to part of the domain, that like, so if the not going to part of the domain, that user is not in the present in my AD, so that was reject profile. Now this error is applied reject profile. Applied reject profile due to the, why due to the this error? I shall show you. Because of the this max popping policy should be import is interchange. Port interchange. See, enforcement profile. What is it saying? What is enforcement profile? Deny access profile. Because the user going to change the port, that's why going to apply the deny access profile, and these alerts showing applied reject profile. Reject profile due to the change the port by the violence of the my policy. Interchange policy, that means in port interchange, that means the port they are going to change the user, that's why apply the reject profile. So the alerts and that condition shows and the enforcement profile, we can able to identify the resolving the problem. If not today, if you going to work on the daily by daily, so should you understand the problem. The problem should be same, not going to change the problem, but should be understand the problem, what is the, they are saying. Very important things is check the proper, what is the source, what is the enforcement profile apply, okay, what is the method, okay, and then what is the reject. See, I just show just for example. So I again more thing I just show you. I am just changing this bracket because last 1 week now. Okay. So packet I think so not going. Why I think so something hang. Okay, leave it. So I'm just specifying about the check the proper alerts and proper authentication method and enforcement profile. That's it. Okay, other query. Yes. Any query about, please, bro? Suresh, are talking something? Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
Uh,
No. Okay. Yes. Speaking. Yeah. Only 7 minutes remaining. Yeah. Tell me.
That when we can configure the on-guard postures,
Hmm.
so enforcement policy must be needed.
Yes, needed, because that enforcement policy should be applied the healthy and quarantine profile. So the very important thing is to configure the enforcement profile about the web policy. Yes, that is very important things. Correct. Okay. So any other query? So my today only enough. So after the next week we can start the administrative parts and the all this related to lab also perform.